Global Leaders with Rajiv Mothie.
And we're live right here, Global Leaders KZN 2025. We just completed our interview with Mr. Vivian Reddy, man who actually set up the Radisson Blu, where we are sitting right now. But right now, we're with another influential man of the year, part of the top 100 influential men 2025. My brother, tell us your name.
Lethabo Malope.
My brother, how about you tell our lovely viewers a little bit more about yourself?
My name is Lethabo Malope. People call me Joy, right? You know, once I came to KZN, it became too hard for people to say Lethabo. So Joy sounded easier. I'm 27 years old. I'm actually the principal of Total Agricultural College, which is a private college. You can say I started working for the college in 2023, but you know, when something is within the family, I started working for the college in 2019. So pocket money was part of the college. You know, for you to have a petty cash, do what you want to do as a teenager, I had to work in the college. I didn't realize I was working. I thought, you know, I'm making petty cash. But that was it for me. And I think I studied civil engineering. I only got to entertain agriculture just for the petty cash. And then I was moved from Soshanguve. I'm born and bred in Soshanguve, Pretoria. You know, Kasi. People say it's a Kasi. It's not a Kasi. It's a good location, though, to grow up in. And then I was moved from there to Eastern Cape. In the Eastern Cape, I went to the Bundus, deep in the Lalis. Those who don't know the Lalis, deep in the rural areas. Didn't speak to my aunt for 12 months because of that. You know, you moved me from my comfort zone to something I'm not comfortable with. But you know, told myself, since I did what I did and it had to happen, let me continue and try to prove myself. I did that. I studied animal health technician, completed my course in 2022, graduated 2023. From there, I think it has always been uphill, because the moment I got into Totele, I already knew how the company was being run. I already knew the structure of it, what it needed and everything. So it became easier for me to say, what's the word they usually use, rise into the ranks.
Yes,
And there was no ranks to it. For me, it was just about do the job you were doing just for petty cash. Now you're doing it for a salary. So it was way too easy for me to actually complete it.
Now, I think that's such an exciting, I will say, life journey as such, because you were put into a very strategic place that the universe had planned for you. So I came for the graduation for Tutela, and it was so enlightening to see so many youngsters going out there, being graduated by Professor Goslina and the entire team. Now, my brother, I can see you not just highly educated, but you also got swag, you got vibe, you got energy. What are the secrets to your success? Because there's a lot of people that can relate to you.
I think I don't like saying it's a secret, right? I think everyone can establish or can have what I have, but through what happened within the family, it helped me. It made me develop something which I say, uncomfortability creates consistency, right? Once you're uncomfortable, you try to learn, to master, to grow within it. So uncomfortability created consistency for me. And being in that platform where I was uncomfortable, but at the same time, you know, when you're uncomfortable, you don't just want to show it that you're uncomfortable. You just want to be there. You want people to see you. You want people to recognize you. I moved from being the shy kid at home to being president of an institute, to being one of the ASATI leaders, which is a representation of 11 official recognized colleges in South Africa. I became one of those people just because of that uncomfortability, which was created from me moving from Soshanguve to Eastern Cape, deep in the Bundus and rural areas. That created a platform for me to say, I want to grow. I want to make myself recognized. because I studied the first course I did, which was civil engineering. I did it on my own. My family gave me the go ahead and say, do what you want, and let's see, right? Not the let's see as in we'll judge you, but let's see. And then I did it. I couldn't get employed. With the employment rate we have in this country, it was so terrible for me to get employed. And they said, okay, now can you give us a bit of your time? Can we tell you what to do? And they did, directed me towards agriculture. Didn't know anything about it. I grew up in Soshango. The only animals I knew was a dog and a cat. Like, so crying out loud.
And now you're a professional.
And now I woke up, I have to practice, teaching about cows, sheep, goats, and everything I've
and
never seen
their
before.
lifespan and all of that.
And all that. But that became so good for me that to a point when I was in that platform, I told myself, grow within it so that when you go back home, they are no longer advising you, but they have to take advice from you. And that's what I practiced. And that's what I did. Became the president, became part of ASATI, became part of the institutes, council
And now
members.
the titles can't stop. Everybody is just on it.
Became part of the title institute's title members, and that's what I was. My aunt, of which I didn't speak to for 12 months, when she showed up and saw me in that position, literally she was shell shocked. I'm like, not you. You're the shyest one in the family. I was like, but I speak for the whole institute now. I am that person. And I think from there, I've always told myself, uncomfortability creates consistency.
Wow.
So that has been the secret. Once you're uncomfortable, it should create consistency where you believe you can grow, you can learn, you can do better, you can actually show up and do what you have to do.
I love the fact that you mentioned that, is because, a lot of the time with us as youngsters, we want to do what feels good.
Yes.
We want to do what's exciting. And sometimes you got to be a little uncomfortable. You got to do what's not that exciting, but to give you, I would say, purpose in life, to give you a meaning in life. My brother, what are you currently working on, and how can people get involved?
Currently, of which I don't like mentioning, right? Currently, I'm the president or principal of Total Agricultural College, which is a private institute. I don't like titles because I believe titles
Humility,
come and go.
young
Yes.
man with humility.
So
all the students blow up the chat right now.
Yes, titles come and go, but I believe once you do something, find a purpose to it. Find something that wakes you up in the morning, except the alarm, right? Oh, we all don't like the alarm. Find something that makes you wake up to it and tell yourself, I'm going to do it, and I'm going to do it right. For me, I think sharing knowledge with farmers and seeing, even if I don't impact 500 farmers, one farmer is enough for me. Making an impact to that one particular farmer becomes enough for me. So I think that's the goal everyone should chase. Once you find a purpose, don't try and broaden it and make it so big that you can't reach it in a month or in a few months or in a day. Find something that puts you in a level of which you think, hey, well within my capabilities. And once you do that, believe you me, you'll wake up before the alarm, you'll go to sleep before the time you have to go to sleep, and you'll actually find time to have fun. Because I achieved my target for the week. I can still do more next week.
Yes, sir.
If I change my time limit, that means I could have achieved more than I expected that particular week. So I think that's what people or young people should strive towards. Because I think the main problem, or not the main problem, but one of the few things, we are so mainly focused on the unemployment rate that once a young person gets a chance to have a job,
they forget they have the job.
No, they know they have the job. They put themselves in a platform where they learn, they regurgitate, right? They stop doing what drove them to have the job at the first time.
They forget the why.
They forget the why. They become there to learn. Okay, no, they said you press A, B, C, D, and then you knock off. And they still press A, B, C, D. What about the E? What about the F? What about the, the Z is so far away from young people. they become so mainly focused on what they were taught, they tend to regurgitate it. I was one of that. But then I knew, even when I arrived in the company, I told myself, my motto and the company's motto have to align. You know, the vision of the company and my vision for the company have to align. You can't keep regurgitating, because at some point, that's why we wake up and you find that they're saying we want someone with 7 years experience. That particular person no longer regurgitates. They actually adapt. As a young person, they know you come into a platform, you learn, you regurgitate, you stop adapting. Whereas in every sector, everything moves along. You have to stop regurgitating. You have to adapt, because technology is here to stay. Whether we want it or not, technology is here to stay. Agriculture, real estate and everything. Technology makes life easy. But if you are still regurgitating something which has nothing to do with technology, and now we are waking up to speaking about technology, you realize you are being left behind.
Gotta stay in the forefront. Stay focused.
Stay
Now,
focused.
my brother, I'll be honest. What you've mentioned, I'm just thinking back and I'm looking at you speak and I'm thinking about that graduation event and I'm thinking, such bright future ahead for Tutela. Having you as a leader, having you behind that seat, because with your knowledge, and I'll tell you what I like about you most, and I know a lot of my viewers would agree with me, is you've got that youthfulness. You understand life. That life is not just all about 1, 2, 3. You understand that there's more to it. You understand that you need to have balance.
Yes.
You need to have that fun. You need to have that work, and together is what creates greatness.
Right.
So what I'd like to know from you before we love you and before we leave you, any final words to your people out there?
Any final words to, I'll say youth, right? I think I believe I'm still a youth. I think so. Just turned 27 a few days ago, but I'm still a youth.
Youth star.
As youth, I think we should stop the complacency of believing that everything should be handed down or we should be considered just because we are youth. We should learn and actually force our way into every situation. I don't mean force our way whereby we come and bend down buildings, but then, force our way into every situation. I think through knowledge, through actually interacting with people and writing memos, SLAs, and everything, you put in business places, you put yourself in a platform whereby even someone who's been in the business for 6 years, if they read your business plan with proper research, they actually can acknowledge you more than someone who has been there for so long. Because I think that's the most important thing. So for youth, there's no such thing which says youth is unemployable. We are employable. We just have to apply our mind to it. Irregardless of how they say it, apply your mind to it. When you get the chance, put yourself out there, read. I know I don't like the library, right? But once in a while, whether I went there to take pictures, there'll always be a book that captures your imagination. And you have to read more about that book. Once you do that, you realize that book actually gives you something that will contribute towards you moving forward as an individual.
Yes, sir.
And I think, go to the library. Go there to take pictures. Maybe, create content. This day we live for content. Go there to do that.
You shoot a TikTok video.
Shoot a TikTok video. You'll find something that actually
Relates
speaks to you as an individual. Do that. Don't just believe everything we can do it on social media and everything. The library is still there for a reason. Even though we have a library on the internet, there's still the physical one where you just have to be there to actually know how the atmosphere relates to you.
Well, I really enjoyed this conversation. Here's a young man with so much of energy, so much of vibe, and I feel he's someone that our youth can relate to. He's someone that I'm sure a lot of youth are watching this and say, hey, I feel him. I know what it's like. And between me and you, whoever's watching this, agriculture is a big thing in South Africa. We got to position ourselves. We got to make sure we're ready, and we got to make sure we take advantage of the opportunity. From myself, Rajiv Mothie, and the entire team, I've just got one thing left to say. You guys have just been motivated.